Are any of the big time disappointment guys that you took in the early rounds? Are you worried about any of them, like Brian Thomas? I guess Nico, minus that touchdown last week. And when I say you, the proverbial you, is there any of them? Drake London, any of them really worry you right now?
Well, you understand if it's somebody I don't have, it's the opposite of worry. It's hope. I hope it continues, right? I hope AJ Brown doesn't catch a pass all year. And Nico Collins, I hope, that is a disaster. But I have Brian Thomas. I'm a little worried. Trevor Lawrence kind of sucks. That's kind of a problem, He said Brian Thomas will be fine. He probably will be, but already, you had the sharps being like Brian Thomas is, his per play, blah, 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 whatever. And already that's dead, right? Now you're just hoping for like 89, 90 catches, 1,100 yards, and 9 touchdowns. The whole like Brian Thomas is going to get you 110 catches for 1,600 yards and 15 touchdowns. Like those dreams are out the window. Now you're just playing defense, right? Yeah. And same with Drake London got 15 targets the first game. And then the second game, the Vikings only scored 6 points all game. So it wasn't a game flow thing. I'm much less worried about Drake London. His quarterback looks okay to me. And then, but Nico, the problem with Nico is just that the Texans offensive line is maybe the 32nd best. Them and the Giants are two of the worst. And, DJ Stroud just doesn't have time to throw to him, and it's a big problem.
Yeah. I mean, shouldn't they be figuring out other ways? They have a guy that looks like that, right? Like that usually should just go short passing game with him. Just get the ball in his hands. The line of scrimmage screen stuff. I mean, anything. Shouldn't he be like a 10, 12 target every single game?
He should, but you start having him run 1 foot from the line and throwing a screen, and he gets a 6-yard gain. It's not a bad play, but now he's not running that outside route that spreads the defense and keeps the safeties back. And so you're sort of like, what are you doing with your offense, right? You've got a guy who can do that, and you're using him. I mean, I like when the Dolphins would throw Tyreek Hill screens and he take it for a touchdown, but that can't be I think you have to use that guy where he's got the big advantage.
All right, well, then how about any of the rookie running backs? You got Ashen Gentry, who's been a league loser so far. You remember, we kind of make the joke that you can't win your league in the first round, but certainly can lose it. Ashen.
Oh, you're freezing up on me, Alan. I don't know what happened. Okay. You're freezing up. Yeah.
How about now?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, I didn't. You were fine. That was weird.
Oh, okay. That was weird. Okay. Well, anyway.
Yeah. So let me just repeat.
I just tried to check. Okay, go ahead.
Unless it got all trouble. Am I good now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna. We're talking Ashen Gentry. That was so far has been a league losing pick through the first couple weeks.
Yeah, I was trying to trade in one league for Ashen Gentry because I think I watched a couple of spin moves he did the other day, and he still looks the part to me. They just. For some reason, they just got to get the ball to Bowers and Gentry and stop messing around, stop dicking around with stupid plays they're doing. And Pete Carroll's annoying. He's the kind of guy that kind of stuff happens with. It's a frustrating coach. He's like an old guy who's a good motivator guy, but just get to the point and get your guys in there. But I think he'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, Gentry goes now. If we draft again mid to late second, going forward, not you don't have to worry about the garbage he's gotten you. But Hampton to me is a 5th round pick. I mean, I just think that you and I called it, right? We said Najee is going to be a problem. Najee looked better than him. Najee didn't fumble. Najee's gotten 1,000 yards every year of his career, and he's never missed a game. The Cyclops is 245 pounds. He's rugged as hell. Harbaugh loves the guy. They got rid of Dobbins for Najee. I mean, that's what they did. They swapped out Dobbins for Najee.
Right.
They wanted Najee.
Yeah. I'd be petrified if I had Trevion Henderson right now. He'd be a 7th or an 8th round pick. Raandre.
He got taken early second by Joe in one league. And it's I'm glad I was getting FOMO, right? The FOMO guys, right? So I was shit, I need some Travis Hunter. I need some Trevion Henderson. And I didn't get any of those guys. But I was getting to the point where I was maybe I should have some. Is it dangerous to go into a year with all these teams and no Travis Hunter and no Trevion Henderson? No, don't do that. I was not interested in Travis Hunter before the season, and then I got interested because everyone was "Oh, he's so good. You gotta get him."
I mean, we could be singing a different tune in 2 weeks, though, right? I mean, that's all it takes.
I mean, anything could happen, right?
Yeah,
if your aunt goes through a surgery, it should be your uncle. I mean, it's it's I mean, anything could happen, but I'm just saying, like, let's just talk about what the market would pay now. You just said Trevion Henderson would be a 7th, 8th round pick, right? He's going in the 3rd routinely.
Would he still go ahead of Raandre, or would you take Raandre ahead of him at this point?
I mean, Raandre is worth more right now, but we could easily see that swapping. That's like, if you say like, we'll be like eating our words in 2 weeks. No, not from where they went. But saying, could he be ahead of Raandre in 2 weeks? Absolutely. Like, that's why he goes in the 8th and not the 12th, right? Is that he and Raandre would be like 7th, 8th-ish, and Raandre is worth more now. It was kind of like in the draft, Javonte Williams would now go in the 4th or 3rd. Javonte Williams versus Jaden Blue, right? They were going sort of in the same round. They were like, Javonte's worth more now. Blue might be worth more in a couple of weeks. Now we see that Javonte's just got the job, but we didn't know at the time. And I think Raandre and Trevion is kind of like Jaden Blue, Javonte before the season.
And I'll give you another one of those. I mean, I don't know if we're just going to tell the same story over and over again, but RJ Harvey, right? He was like a 5th round pick that you can't be happy with. He's my 2nd running back in the RotoWire league, and I don't really even have a 3rd running back. I'm forced to play him every week.
Yeah. I mean, that one is not as bad because 2 reasons. One, he was going in the 5th or 6th. So it's not like he was going in,
Still.
3rd in the 3rd. That's like 5th, 6th is a lot of busts, right? Like, that's okay. And secondly, I really think Dobbins, like, I said this before the season. I said, I even made a bet with somebody, Trevion versus RJ Harvey. I was like, Ramondre is a worse obstacle and Najee is a worse obstacle. Dobbins looks good and he's an obstacle right now, but Dobbins always gets hurt. Like, Dobbins has never, the most he ever played was last year's 10 games before he went down. And that would be crushing for Harvey if he takes 10 games. By that time, it's too late. But I think Dobbins is ticking time bomb.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of these guys get, like a lot of surprising drops. Right now, that's the whole idea. You can't be, and I actually applaud that, right? Like when you drop your 8th round pick because it's not working out. I took Evan Ingram in a bunch of leagues, single tight end where it's 5 bench spots. Like after week 1, cut, right? Like picked up Harold Fannin. Like I'm not waiting around for those guys. Sometimes you draft them in the single digit rounds, and you feel obligated to hold on to them. So it's I don't want to be too quick with these rookies, but like Caleb Johnson, for example, right? Like after week 2, forget it, off my roster. I mean, he may not even be active on game day, but he's not going to be special teams list.
Yeah, he's like a speculative ad 3 weeks from now if Jaylen Warren gets hurt. I mean, he's just like in the bin with like the Trevor Etiennes of the world. It's like he's just like anything could happen, but you're kind of done with it. I sort of was a nutless monkey. So in my prime time,
you're always a nutless. Yeah, you're always a nutless monkey.
Well, I got a couple of instances to run by you, but in my prime time, I've got Nakua and Davante Adams. That team's 2-0. It's a really good team. It's 3rd in points. Like, this is a contender, and I drafted Stafford, but I dropped Stafford week 1 because I had the Eagles defense and I got the free look, and they only scored 4 points. So I dropped Stafford to pick up a defense. Defense scored, 8 points. I got 4 points out of that. Then I could have picked up Stafford again, but I would picked up Danny Dimes because Danny Dimes runs and like he's got all these receivers. I'm like, okay. But then this week I'm like, Nakua and Adams go off, and I'm like, I better have Stafford for the playoffs. Like, I better have that stack because I have the 2 guys and the only 2 guys. It's the perfect stack. Okay.
Stafford only had 20 points though, even with all that.
Right. So maybe you don't need him with those 2 guys. It doesn't. Right. He only gets those 2 guys. So
you know what it is? I interrupted you, but it's because Nakua got a 45-yard running touchdown. That's why it happened.
But he still went like 8 for 90 on top of that. So and Devontae went off. So I was thinking I better get him back. But I had Mark Andrews, and I was like, I can't drop Mark Andrews yet, right? And he's terrible. He does nothing. And Isaiah Likely's not even back yet. Wait till Isaiah Likely comes back. But so I couldn't drop Mark Andrews, so I didn't bid. So and I was like, they're playing the Eagles. No one's going to pick up Stafford this week, and someone did.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
well, you know why? Because it's a QB carnage week.
That's right. A lot of guys got injuries, but the thing is, like, So the reason I didn't get Stafford back is because I picked up Danny Dimes last week. And I just think Danny Dimes, he runs for touchdowns. He runs for yardage. Yeah. He's got Michael Pittman, Tyler Warren, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce. Danny Dimes could be like a top 8 quarterback, right? Or no?
I have him as my QB 10 rest of season.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So 8th round pick in fantasy if we were redrafting today.
and I paid like 100 for him, and no one bid on him. It was like, one of those bids where someone bid 5 and I bid 100, or 120. But would you, in my situation with Nakua and Adams, have dropped Dimes or Mark Andrews for a third QB in Stafford?
No, because again, I know what you're saying, like the stackability, but you saw already, like it could be like an end around. You don't need Stafford. He's not directly correlated, plus the injury risk. And let's just say he does miss a game here and there with the back injury. By the way, Stafford looks amazing. It looks like peak Stafford to me.
Right.
And I'm just speculating here. Like I'm saying, it's not one of those like where you absolutely need him. And I think stacking's a little overrated. And you could have Dimes that goes off naked, so to speak, with no receivers, and both receivers on the Rams.
Let's talk about his personal life, dude. I don't want to hear it.
What's wrong with
Dimes is up to some bad stuff.
I think that Dimes is a good pickup, right? Like people still aren't sure.
Right. And I have Drake May, right, as my starter. So it's like this week, I don't know who to start, May or Dimes. It's close, and so like, but I felt like also, I think like Stafford, as you said, he might get banged up for a couple of weeks. He may get dropped again, and I'm able to pick him up for nothing. But when I have an injury, if somebody's out for the year, but I wasn't, but I was saying I was an outless buggy. I wasn't willing to drop Mark Andrews, which is the other guy could have dropped, or Kareem Hunt. Would you drop Kareem Hunt?
I wouldn't drop Kareem Hunt. I would have dropped Andrews, but I understand why you didn't. Now I was talking with one of our colleagues over at RotoWire, Jim Coventry, and he goes, make sure, because we're doing the Sirius XM show, he goes, make sure you ask me this weekend why you should hold on to Mark Andrews. So I haven't heard his case yet, but he says he has some detailed case. And again, I don't know if it's crazy case or not, but I'll let you know after he says it about why he thinks Andrews is a buy. And he actually said Zay Flowers is a sell. So I'm anxious to hear that one. I don't agree with either of those.
Well, I mean, the Ravens don't typically just target Zay Flowers 12 times a game and nobody else. I mean, they do. I mean, you'd think Bateman and Andrews would get some targets eventually, but
we'll see.
So far.
Yeah, and Henry really wasn't involved. Or he got stuffed by Cleveland last week, so that was interesting. Hey, remember, we're going to have to talk a little Survivor at the end of this because we need to pick our team for our pool this week. We'll come back to that. I just wanted to throw it out there so I don't forget. Just going through some of the other things in the NFL, though, because everything you need to know for week 3. The Jake Browning Burrow thing. Okay, so let's talk in redraft Superflex, because that's where the big bids went. And is he in like a Superflex league? You saw Stopa tried to shame me because I bid 991 out of 1,000. He won him with 1,000. He is an all-in bid, right, in Superflex, Browning?
Yeah, unfortunately I put 25 on Darren Waller last week, so I can only go 975. And I don't know if there's last year, Jordan Mason, remember McCaffrey was hurt? I went 1,000 on Mason, got him, and I still have Mason on my dynasty. It's like,
it's a dynasty.
Yeah, and now Aaron Jones is hurt, so I was like, oh, this is amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's a QB flex dynasty, so it's like, first of all, just having Browning for the year is so valuable because I have Aaron Rodgers as one of my 2 QBs, and he's going to get hurt.
You're talking about dynasty, Browning should be rostered no matter what, right? I roster all those backup QBs. I was talking redraft, but that's dynasty. It's an all in play no matter what. But
right.
In redraft too,
you go all in if you have $0 pickups. I mean, that's the only issue is in the NFFC, you can't do that because you're going to end up getting zeros at the end.
It's single quarterback in the NFFC.
But any right, well, that you would never do it in the NFFC. But in a QB flex league where there's $0 bids, it's not even a question. It's not even a question. It's just. That would be, if Burrow's out for till week 16 or whatever it's going to be, that would be like a 9th round pick or an 8th round pick, and maybe 7th, if they were aggressive.
Yeah, that's what I did. So I lost it to Stopa in that one league. He put 1,000. I put 991. I was trying to hold back for a defense, which was stupid. I didn't need him, but I only have 2 quarterbacks there. And
you need him.
Yeah, exactly. Because what if Trevor Lawrence gets hurt?
I've Justin Fields as one of my QBs. Now I luckily in my QB flex, I have an extra guy, but it's of course you're going to need him.
Yeah. The move, and you were talking dynasty, is to put, because Browning's a rest of your play, put him in there and then sell off one of the other quarterbacks for a king's ransom. One of your name brand guys.
Aaron Rodgers is at most a 1-year play, and Browning, if I get him, hope everybody's a nutless monkey. I don't think they will be. That team's in first place after 2 weeks, even though Worthy got me a 0 the first week. That team is just loaded. And I got cheated last year out of the playoffs. Some stupid formula they used to get into the playoffs, and I would have won. My team is loaded.
Here's a funny but obvious question: is like, who makes more career starts from today forward, Aaron Rodgers or Jake Browning?
Browning.
Yeah,
because he might start in the future, and Rodgers may get hurt, and he's done after this year. So.
Right, he's doing the swan song. All right, Dolphins. You remember our debate from a couple years ago? Not a debate, just like Achane versus Zay Flowers in the rookie draft. Yeah. I mean, Achane obviously clearly was the answer.
Yeah, I was trying to tell you.
You were.
The funny thing was, that was the whole when Stopa's accidental prophecy, where he said, "Well, at that size, he'd have to be like a historic player,
outlier."
Outlier." And I was like, I just written a column about Mariano Rivera being an outlier on Real Man Sports, and I was like, "Oh man, you shouldn't have said that word." Now I'm regretting taking Flowers. Now Flowers,
he's been fine.
Still, that's part of the reason my team's in first place. That's who I have from back then. So he's been great, but Achane. It's just a matter of durability. And he played all year last year, so there's no reason to think he's especially fragile. And if he is durable, I mean, he's just a wide receiver that gets, 12 to 15 carries a game. He's like, he's going to get like 8 for 90 and a touchdown as a receiver. And he's going to get like 12 and who knows, it could be 2 touchdowns running. It could be, 12 for 30 like last week, but he's going to get he's like Debo in that peak Debo year where he had this great year, but with more carries.
I wonder what's going to happen though as the Dolphins start to collapse. I mean, they're what, they're 11 or 12 point dogs to Bills on Thursday Night Football. If that one goes south, man, that whole team can be like the coach could be gone and Tyreek could be traded. It's one of those situations.
Well, that's what I want to talk about with Survivor because I don't save teams. The Bills next week have the Saints at home, I believe. And so I don't really want to save them if I don't care. Cause again, look at all these quarterbacks getting hurt. What if Josh Allen gets hurt next week? Well, then you're not using that. You don't, he did break his nose, by the way, last week.
Yeah. That was real man stuff right there. You saw that?
But I don't like, during the game, you can kind of just adrenaline through it. But like 4 days later, it swells. You've got like your faces, whatever, who knows. Right. But I have a bad vibe about this game. Like I obviously think the Bills are going to win. They're obviously such a better team, but it's a division rival. Last time they played, I think the Bills won 30-27. Miami knows them. Miami, they're bad, but Tua is a real quarterback. If he gets a little time, and Tyreek Hill and Waddle and Achane, I mean, they can beat the Bills defense deep. They can get big plays.
Waddle might not play, by the way.
Well, he's dinged up, I guess. But I was just like, I don't like the desperate 0-2 Dolphins on the short week and the Bills being like, oh, this is like an easy game. We just, killed the Jets. They were lucky to beat the Ravens week 1. Ravens kind of blew that one, but I just think this is a bad setup for them. And so, the Bills will probably kill them. So I was thinking about pivoting in the Circa pool,
Oh, you mean just not taking the Bills and you anticipate them being the highest owned team?
No, they're okay. I've been looking at this site that's actually pretty good, Survivor Grid, and it'll be like last week it was like 28% for the Ravens. There really was like 20. Like I would think that more people would just take the best team to survive, but they're not. They're totally taking weird teams, So it's.
By the way, I'm mad at you right now because you're like, oh, I just found the site. Survivor Grid's the site that I gave you last year. I want full credit for this.
Yeah. Remember? Okay. Well, you sent it to me. Okay. But whatever.
Yeah. Some site I found.
So when Heather gets so pissed because her friends do that all the time, they'll be like, do you know of a restaurant? Or they'll be telling someone else, oh, I know this great restaurant. And Heather be like, I told them about that restaurant. They're not even giving me any credit. But I forgot.
I want credit.
Okay. You told me about it. But it's but anyway, I thought the estimates were a little, low for what it would be, but it's not been. It's been spot on. And, I'm a bit like, I don't know, man. Like it's not, there's no pot odds play. The Bills are it. If you look at the Vegas numbers, 100% Bills. There's just no question about it.
Yep.
But I'm thinking of moving, and the team I'm thinking of taking, and we should take it if there's rebuy, but this is different. It's the Falcons in Carolina.
It's so funny. I was thinking the 2 teams I had marked was Falcons at Carolina, but the one I was going to push for was Seattle home against New Orleans, because I'm not really going to want Seattle at any point. And I think Atlanta might actually be good. But yeah, I mean, either of those.
That's the reason to take Atlanta, right? So I agree with that, right? But I don't care about saving. It doesn't matter. If Atlanta's good and then people want to use them one week where we don't have them, that could be the week they get upset. And secondly, I think Darnold, if the Saints defense somehow shows up and Darnold throws a pick,
well, that's the other thing. Do you really want to bet your survivor life, even though it's buyback on Sam Darnold? The answer is always no.
Right. So, but I mean, it's 12-inch or 6-inch now. Basically, he's a young guy. He has no experience, so that could go south. And they lost their who's that corner they have that they just signed to the big 4-year deal? Their star corner. I forget his name. Mm-hmm. Whatever. But anyway, point is, he's missing. And then I looked it up. So then I was like, how good is he really? It's not like losing Patrick Surtain or
AJ Terrell.
AJ Terrell. It's not like losing like Patrick Surtain or Derek Stingley, right? So it's like, I'm like, how good is he? And PFF had him as the 24th graded cornerback in the league. And everyone's like, oh, that's really low. He got paid. He's really good. So if PFF is right or in the ballpark and he's not a top 10 or top 5 corner, it hurts a bit. And Tet McMillan may go off a bit. So you're a little nervous. Bryce Young sucks, but he does get on those sort of rolls like late in games and garbage time and stuff. I don't know. I think Bijan, I thought the Atlanta defensive line absolutely dominated the Vikings last week. Carolina's got 2 injuries to their offensive line. And I think Bijan's going to run wild and they're just going to control that game. But it's on the road. It's the second game in a row on the road. They had a Sunday night game coming off a night road game,
I liked Atlanta's pass rush too. I know against a weaker offensive line, but I liked what I saw there. It's like sometimes when you're just watching the game, like, oh, these guys, they go after it, So yeah, I had those 2 teams marked, and seeing the percentages here on Survivor Grid, the great website that I recommended to you. Yeah. 20% versus 5%. I know it's buyback, but why buy back if we don't have to? Let's let everyone else fall.
Right. I'm totally. Let's do Atlanta.
We're in for Atlanta,
but I don't care about that. That's small potatoes. I paid $1,000 and flew my whole family to Vegas.
Do not diminish our pool. I don't like when you do that. It actually makes me a little hurt inside. Anyway, go ahead about your pool that you really care about.
Yeah, the one is $1,000. It's 15 mil.
I get it.
And by the way, if I win that 15 mil, Alan, next time dinner's on me. Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
By the way, you better fly me in for that one. Now,
I don't know if fly you. Maybe I'll
helicopter me in. Yeah. I think it's 18 mil this year, isn't it?
Oh, now I went up to 18, right? So if I win the 18 mil, and it'll be a split probably like 6 ways, I'll get 3 mil. If I win the 3 mil, the next time we're in Vegas, we'll go to Lotus, we'll go to wherever you want, and you just get whatever you want, and get wine, whatever. I don't give a shit, I'll pay. But my point is, and I've said this to many people, so it's going to deplete my whole winnings. But my point is that that this is scary, right? It's like the pot odds say Bills. There's not even close. It's by far the best team. I don't care about saving for next week or for whatever. But I just have it. If I thought the Bills were definitely like in a great spot, I would definitely take them. I wouldn't even think about it. But because I don't think they're going to lose. I think they'll probably just kill them, and I'll be like, yep, I should have taken them. But I just have like, if they're going to drop a game, it's like a division game early in the year against a desperate team. They showed up a little lackadaisical. It was a short week. They just got a little bit, lax, and that's that.
I know what you're saying about not saving, but like, I don't know. I don't want to use the Bills either. I mean, for all the reasons, like I'm just looking right now, like looking ahead is the worst thing. I already acknowledge that, but New England at home in the week 5, Carolina week 8. There's some spots like Miami again in week 10. That's not how you do it, but there's spots where I want to use the Bills.
Yeah, I never think about that because you don't know. I know. Josh Allen tears his ACL next week, and you're like, there's no spot. And that's the thing is like, look already okay, so I burned the Ravens. This is in reverse, but I burned the Ravens last week, which was they're one of the Thanksgiving games, and like that you have to reserve, and that's dangerous. But I was like, they're playing the Bengals. Like I'm not going to want the Ravens against the Bengals. It's too dangerous, right? And now that's like a prime thing, and I've burned the Ravens, right? So now I've got to and I burned the Eagles, which are the 2 biggest favorites now on Thanksgiving. So I've got this Dallas KC game. It's KC at Dallas. And I'm not going to burn those 2 teams. The other one's Green Bay at Detroit. And so like that's not a game you want to use. So I've got this KC Dallas game. And I'm like, whatever I do, I got to save those 2 teams. So I have at least like probably a 3 to 7 point favorite there. Maybe it's more if Dallas, throws in the towel, but I have to just keep that game sacred and know that I have something. You can't save too many. But you realize like that's just a perfect example. It's like I thought, I can use the Ravens because I'm not going to want them against the Bengals. And now, of course, that's going to be a valuable game.
Yep. No, I like how you talked. I try to explain it to my wife who's in Survivor too about how being out of sync with your pool. And I like that. I think that's a new edge because a lot of people understand fading pot odds now. I know you were on this thing about 15 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it was, but that seems to have caught up. So what you think, you're always saying, hey, this is what everyone else is going to do, but everyone else is thinking that too.
Right. Your opportunities come by choice. I mean, by necessity, not by choice, right? You get out of phase. And I mean, this is like, I just learned it by almost winning this pool, which I was offered a split and I turned it down because I thought I had the gift of prophecy, but it was like, oh, wow, I just got, zapped ahead. Like half my pool died on this team I wanted to take, but couldn't. And I was like, how do I do that on purpose?
Yeah.
So do you think I should be a real man and take the Falcons in my big pool or not? That's what I'm here to ask you, Alan.
It's easy for me to say because I'm not, and this was, and I will answer the question. I won't, but next year, especially if you're flying out there, and I don't know if you're up for doing a second entry, we should split a second entry so you don't have to diminish our pool every week. So
I'm happy to split a second entry with you.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the reason I only do one for myself, right, is that
be there, right?
Well, no, I could do 2. I could do 10. You can do up to 10. The reason I only do one for myself is that if you think about it, most weeks, even if you have 2, you got to pick the same team because you're picking different teams every week. You're definitely losing one within the first few weeks, right? Maybe you could say, well, you almost guarantee to survive a few weeks, but you're almost definitely losing one. So basically, most weeks you're going to pick the same team for both so that you can like wait till week 11 where there's this impossible choice and split it, right? And then guarantee that one survives or be very likely. And the thing is, like, you're probably just going to lose both on one of those weeks where you have both. So it's just like you're losing $2,000 instead of 1. So I just don't like. I don't want to have to like play that game.
Yeah, there's people I always hear like there's guys on the Visa network that say, "Oh yeah, I have to one of my 15 entries." I'm like, 15 entries.
I think they cap it at 10 for the circle one,
or whatever the hell it is. It's like So I guess you have to do cap on that one. I guess in the picking pool you can do multiple and as many as you want, or is there?
I guess maybe I mean because you have 5 teams a week, so you can't get every permutation.
Right, or it would cost you to do such. Yeah, right. I'm sure somebody's figured that out. How about Tampa? But I want to start. We were talking rookies a little bit earlier. Ibuka. I mean, would he be like a 2nd or 3rd round pick, 4th round pick?
I think 4th. His second game, he didn't do anything. He got a touchdown, but he
I mean, that's something.
Yeah, but it was a short. He looks good.
Yeah,
but he doesn't look like he's like. You look at Malik Neighbors, right? And you see him play, and you're like, oh my god, like this guy is just an absolute beast. And they're throwing deep, and they're throwing everywhere to him. He's one of those guys that's like peak Randy Moss, where you're like, okay, the ball's up in the air. He's going to go get it. He's just like a different level. Jamar Chase, you watch him play. It's like ridiculous, right? Ibuka, you're like, he's like Zay Flowers. Like he's good. He's a good player. He runs routes, but I'm not getting the feeling yet that he's like some next level. So I think that's 4th round,
Right. I mean, JSM would be a 1st round pick just on the volume then.
Yeah. And he's like, supreme route runner. But Cup got some action this last week. But still, JSM would probably be where Brian Thomas was going. Drake London. You got to put. I mean, I think Drake London's going to be just fine. I think Brian Thomas will probably be fine. Like, should go like AJ Brown should go in the 3rd. Drake London should go in the 2nd. Brian Thomas should go in the 2nd. But it's not like catastrophic.
Yeah, one of the guys that was fully available in the 2nd round, almost any pick you wanted, was Jonathan Taylor too, and he's looking like he could end up being the RB1 overall list. I mean, it's not that I regret not taking Jonathan Taylor. It's just like he was really available. Like you passed on him sometimes for like AJ Brown. Like I've seen, I in the NFFC, I saw Taylor drip into the 3rd once in a while.
Yeah, I took Nakua over him in the prime time. I'm trying to think when I had the late picks. I did pass on him, I think, once for Lad McConkey, I think, which is bad. Bucky Irving, I got in the 3rd in one of my leagues, and Taylor was gone, but I was happy with that. Bucky Irving's great, by the way. No regrets on Bucky Irving. The problem with Taylor is he's not going to catch that many passes. And so it's all on the ground. And he could do like a Derrick Henry plus more passes than Henry. Like he could have like, a really good year, but he's been hurt a lot. I guess the case for Taylor is that Danny Dimes looks like an NFL quarterback. Anthony Richardson was not. So you're sort of like, okay, now we have like an NFL quarterback and a really good running back. Suddenly this team may be a top 10 offense. And then you've got an elite back in a top 10 offense. Well, he should have gone where Henry was going,
Here's the top like 10 running back so far after 2 weeks, right? Just fantasy points, 2 weeks, everything can change. But do you know who the number one running back is, by the way?
Number one running back
in fantasy football.
It'll be obvious once you say it. But...
yeah, James Cook.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah. He's got a lot of touchdowns.
Yep, and then Bijan and Christian McCaffrey. No surprise there. RB4 is Javonte.
Right? Yeah, he's been great.
Yep, JT Jonathan Taylor is 5. Achane 6. Hubbard is 7. Travis Etienne 8. Saquon 9. Derrick.
Freezing up on me again, Alan. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's me or you.
How about now? This should be better.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
All right, hang on. I'm just gonna quick pause here. Yeah, just we were reviewing the top running backs. It's like 12 was Bucky, 13 was Jalen Moore, and 14 Alvin Kamara, and 15 Dobbins, 16 Jacobs. Ugh.
Where's Jahmyr Gibbs?
I think he was 11.
Okay.
Yeah, 11. I never thought he was a good like top 3 pick. I know you did. I do.
I still do.
You still do. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, top 3 is.
He's on like they scored 52 last week, right? Like he's going to get a piece of that, often, and he's a great player in real life. Like he's a great running back. He may be the best running back in the NFL.
And here's the receiver. Do you know who the top 5 receivers are? In any order, and I'll
Malik's got to be up there, even though he had a quiet first game. He's 2.
Neighbors is 2.
Okay. I'm going to say
you own one of them.
One of them, Nakua's up there.
He's number 1.
Oh, so I got Nakua Neighbors are my top 2 picks in the prime time. No wonder I'm 2-0. And my 4th pick was Javonte.
Yeah. So number 3 is Amon-Ra.
Oh yeah, of course, right? Yeah, that monster game.
Number 4. Who is the number 4? It's everyone thought this guy was going to be a second wide receiver, and he's emerged as the top option in an offense.
He's supposed to be the number 2, but he's actually the number 1.
Yeah. And he has a new coach this year.
My mind is blank. Who is it?
It's Rome Odunze.
Right. And I got Rome in your league, and I had him on my bench. So I scored 173 points in the beat Alan Seslowsky, and I had 47 from golf on the bench and 30 from Rome on the bench. I left 100 points on my bench.
Rome's a every week starter at this point. I don't need to tell you that. And I think DJ Liss, as you call him, DJ Moore, I think that he's going to be a potential trade guy this year. Yeah. And teams will want him.
Yeah. No, he's a good. He's not like Amari Cooper where he's over the edge. He's on the edge. He's below the edge.
Yeah, and it's that when they, in the press conference I saw on the Coach Speak Index, like they were asking questions about the passing game to Ben Johnson. He's like, "We're going to be fine." He's like, "Rome's our guy." And then when he was talking, he's like, "We got to get Luther Burden more looks." Like there was no DJ. I was going to
top Luther Burden in my stake league.
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean you could still get him, right? You can still pick him up if you want.
No, I haven't dropped him yet. I have him on the waiver right now. Maybe I won't. I was going to relieve myself of burden.
Very good. It's very good.
I'm not going to do it. Now I'm not going to do it. I got to carry the burden for further.
Yeah, my favorite one in your observations column, which can be found on Real Man Sports, was that for a fact that the Washington kicker is gay.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You can't sue me for it. No,
he's
an absolute defense. No, the Washington kicker is gay. I mean, the Washington kicker is gay, right? I mean, that's obvious.
Who's on first? Yeah,
exactly.
Just finishing out like the top. And again, this is 2 weeks. It's fantasy football. Debo Samuel is WR5, Zay 6. Wandell Robinson is WR7.
Oh yeah, Wandell, dude. I saw some like podcast or something where someone drafted Wandell was one of those like live streams, and they were like, "That's a low T pick," right? And I should have taken him as soon as you got NLMs calling it a low T. I'm like, "Oh my god!"
What's low T mean? What is
low testosterone? Low testosterone. And I should have been like, "Oh, that's a tell that guy's going to go off this year."
Yeah,
he's good. Russell Wilson is good, man. I told you that first game where he had the worst numbers. You were like, "Is he cooked?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, he actually, under the circumstances, looked okay, even though he was getting crushed. And then he saw this week.
Well, this is why in my home league, still, I think it's like $100 buy-in. It's not like a peanuts league. I went all in on the Jake Browning thing with 120. We have 125 fab. It's a weird number, but because I have Dart as my QB3, and I'm not so sure I'm going to have Dart when I need him.
Yeah. So the Giants, when they drafted Eli Manning, had Kurt Warner as their starting QB in 2004. And they ended up after 4 games switching to Eli.
Different pedigree.
Just listen. This was after Warner won a Super Bowl and won an MVP in the NFL. But Eli was a different pedigree, right? But the point is, Warner went on to the Cardinals after that, a couple years later, and basically had a better couple seasons for the Cardinals than Eli ever had in his career for the Giants any year. Now, of course, Warner lost in the Super Bowl on that shootout with the Steelers, but Warner went to the Hall of Fame after that, okay? The funny thing is, Russell it's like they bring in this guy who's supposed to be just this bridge. Everyone thought Warner was done in 2004, and it turns out the guy had a lot left in the tank. And Russell looks like he's good. Now, he totally blew it in overtime. He threw that like pop-up interception. He fumbled. He blew it in overtime. But he was just dealing. I mean, he was throwing these beautiful rainbow moon balls, and Malik Neighbors and Wandell Robinson were running under him to catch it.
I mean, that's his superpower is the long ball. Yeah.
But he was moving well. He was scrambling well. He was making good decisions. He looked sharp.
Yep. He's not a dummy. He knows that like this at least buys him a couple games. If he has a bad half in week 3, he's staying. Whereas if he had a bad half in week 3 and he had a mediocre game, there goes the hook. So he bought himself at least a game and a half of poor play. And he might not play poor at all.
Well, they brought in Jackson Dart for a couple plays, and it was really clever. They brought in Jackson Dart, and you're like, what are they doing? And they handed to Scadaboo, who ran for like a 30-yard touchdown or something. And you're like, oh, the team was like, oh, this is Jackson Dart's first play. Let's get ready. And they just handed it off, which is clever, right? Like make it seem like they're doing something special, and it wasn't. So Dart is already like, they're priming him. They love Dart. They're going to get him in there at some point, but I don't think you can after that game.
Yeah, like I said, it would have to be multiple bad game. I mean, and also he's a life preserver, right? Because Dable, front office, they know that they're not like on the hot seat, but the seat is not cool either, right? Yeah. So right when things go completely wrong, if they do at all, they may not. That's when you can break here in case of emergency, and then they buy themselves. And especially if he's good, like if he has flashes, they buy themselves another season.
Well, I mean, if Wilson's really good like he was, they could trade him somewhere too. I mean, it's, maybe you get like a 2nd, 3rd round pick for a team, that if he's really good, I don't know.
Right. No, you're right. Like if there's, the unthinkable happens to a playoff team, right? Like if Stafford went down or something.
Right.
Yep. Just a couple more. So Jamar Chase, wide receiver 8, Quentin Johnson 9, JSN 10, CD 11, Keenan Allen 12, and Ibuka 13. Javonte 14. So
I think Quentin Johnson and Keenan Allen are here to stay because there's no tight end on the Chargers. They don't throw to the backs much. So like there's 3 guys and like that, and they're throwing a lot, and Herbert's really good. That's going to support 3 guys. And I saw a meme on Twitter that said Quentin Johnson, when he remembers he has hands, and it's a photo of Calvin Johnson, right? It's like, oh yeah, he's like 6'4". He's not as big and fast as Calvin, but like he's good. He was a 1st round pick, right? He was like an early 1st round pick. So it's like, this guy's good, right? Like, and so he just has to catch the ball, but he makes plays all the time. And then McConkey is the guy that really gets hurt because he's good and he's a little dinged up now, but like, and he separates and he gets open and all the things those Sharps said. God, the Sharps love McConkey. Like, I don't know why they loved him so much. He was going like early 2nd in the beginning and he drifted to late 2nd. But the thing is, like, Keenan Allen is getting open and Herbert loves him. So there's like 3 equal guys. I think those guys are all 3 kind of equal. I mean, McConkey's the best player at this point, but it's not like, so they're just going to split that up, right? They're each going to get like 900,000 yards. They're each going to get like 8-9 touchdowns, and they're each going to get like 80 catches. I really, maybe Quentin gets 60, 68 catches and Keenan gets 92 catches and McConkey gets 85 and McConkey has 1,100 yards or something, but they're all kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, and I think it was that the case for McConkey as a 2nd round pick was only game in town. Keenan Allen's washed. That's what the thought process was. Quentin Johnson sucks. So the case, if you believed all that, that is a good reason to take McConkey in the 2nd round. It just didn't play out like that.
Yeah, but it was just like, it's just dumb to like just assume that there's only one guy when every team suits up all these guys. The one where there's the only game in town is Garrett Wilson. The problem is, are they going to get enough QB to support it? Right. That one is like, because Quentin Johnson was making plays last year. Like he was his rookie year, he was dropping everything. His 2nd year, it was hot and cold. And this is his 3rd year. Right. And then Keenan Allen, I thought was washed too, but Apparently
Yeah,
he's
and
not.
listen, people thought they were going to lean more heavily on the run and Hampton, and I mean, you could tell yourself the story that was there, but right, like the counter take of that was what you just said. Keenan, they start drafting Keenan. I mean, sorry, they sign Keenan Allen. He knows this team. Herbert's an elite quarterback. It's Quentin Johnston's not a zero. I mean, he was not drafted in a lot of leagues, so pretty great. Let's do the same exercise quickly for the tight ends, and you tell me what sticks out. Who's your top 5 tight ends right now?
My
I'll give you a
top
hint.
five?
No.
The
Who are
real
the top
five?
5? And by the way, it's not Brock Bowers. Just so you know, he's not in the top 5.
No, I know. He didn't do anything for me last week. The top tight end, Fannin might be like 5.
Fannin is again. Oh wait. You know what? I don't want to use this scoring because that's a double PPR. I'm just going to go.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hang on 1 second here. Let me just pull this up. Leaders, tight end. Okay, so yeah, this does change it quite a lot. But yeah, still
is McBride number 1?
McBride is number 5.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think of the tight ends that went off. Warren's got to be like top 5.
Warren's 4. So you have 4. McBride 5, Warren 4. So you have 3 other guys in the top 5. And let me see. One of them was a mid-round pick, and 2 weren't drafted at all.
2 weren't drafted at all.
In most leagues, in 15, 16 rounders.
I can't even think about who.
Think about okay, Tucker Kraft.
The guy in New Orleans. What's the guy's name?
Juwan Johnson. So Kraft is number 1.
Kraft is 1, right?
Juwan Johnson number 2, right. And Zach Ertz is number 3. Right.
Ertz, right? You know what pisses me off is that in my prime time, as good as that team is, it's weak at tight end. I got Fannin now, but I had Andrews there, and I had a 0 in the first game. Tucker Kraft was there in the 11th round, okay, and he usually went in like the 9th, and he was still there. And all I had was Andrews, who was shaky. And I was like, man, I should take him. But I need a QB. And I had Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. So I was going to take Justin Fields, but I was like, he'll come back to me at 12. I think I'm going to take Kraft. And then friggin' Joe, who took Trevion Henderson in the second round, takes Fields with like the second right before me in the 11th, right? So now I'm like, shit, I got to get Drake May because I've got Diggs. And I'm like, Drake May doesn't come back typically. So I got to take my QB. I wanted Fields, who usually comes back, and I would have waited. I would have taken Kraft. But because he took a QB, I was out on Kraft. In retrospect, I should have still taken Kraft, screwed the stack with Diggs, who cares, and then just taken whatever QB, Penix or whoever, and just loaded, whoever was there. But I should have taken Kraft. You shouldn't be too wedded to your plan about the stacking and all that, because that was a gift, and I had it and I let it go.
I'm just so surprised at you because you've been talking about stacking this last year or two, and I just think it's like when people get obsessed with stacking where they push they jump rounds, and then I think it's the worst. Like it's jump the shark in a sense. Like, again, I know it's injury, but think about all the 40% of people in the NFFC that Burrow stacked, right? Like they're dead.
Well, they're dead now. But the point is that was a dumb stack anyway, because the whole point of the stack is the correlation and the advantage you get in the playoffs. Now, look, a stack only makes sense in a 3-week tournament where you're looking for correlation. You got to beat like 250 teams over those 3 weeks, right? You could just have the best team out of those 250 and they all score randomly, right? Or you just need one NFL team that's a plausible team. There's a 10 or 15% chance that averages 30 a game for those 3 weeks, right? And you have the players on it. Yeah. I mean, that's sort of, instead of 1 in 250,
or you can get the 30 points without that. Like if you have Daniel Jones and T. Higgins is the only guy that gets, the fantasy points like he did last year at 40. And then, Danny Dimes runs 2 touchdowns in. Like I'm saying, it's
for one game you can, but for 3, right? For 3. So like you're basically saying like, I've got to hit both of these things separately 3 times, whereas I just have to hit it together 3 times. That's where it starts to add up. I think it's 3 weeks, right? You got to get the correlation. Now, It doesn't mean you're going to win just because you got your quarterback and receiver go off, but it means like you got a big advantage. You're right though. Like that. I mean, it was a bad idea. I should have just taken Kraft. Maybe May comes back. Who cares about Diggs anyway? Diggs doesn't even look like he's going to be worth anything. And so what's the point?
You talked about this when zero running back became popular about 10, 12 years ago. You said when there's 5 guys doing it in your league, it's no longer an advantage. Everybody's trying to stack, so it's not. And I know what you're saying. Not everyone can have the same stack in your league, but if you're doing this New England, that's a bad example. But if you're doing a popular stack, maybe not. If you're doing the Jets stack or someone else in another league is doing it too, so it's not really an advantage. The advantage is actually not the stack.
Well, I think I agree that like the Bengals stack was dumb. Like if you're picking first and you get Chase, do not take Burrow on that 2-3 turn. That is just a bad.
Right. If you get him in round 5, sure.
3-4 turn. Yeah, right. If it falls in your lap and you're competing against the other Burrow teams, but you've got better players because you got it cheaper, that's fine. But yeah, do not do that. And I agree with you, like the top couple of stacks. But actually, it doesn't hurt you that everyone's stacking the way it would if everyone's doing 4 receivers. Because if everyone's doing 4 receivers, your receivers are getting weaker and weaker as you go into the 3rd and 4th round. The running backs are more and more valuable because everyone's passing on them, and you're all competing for the same thing, right? But in the stacking case, like it actually helps you, right? Like this guy's totally all in on the Chiefs, but you got the Jets stack, right? So if the Jets, for God knows what reason, go off for 3 weeks, you're going to be not only on your own, but totally crushing the people with the bad stacks.
Yeah, makes sense. Let's do the same exercise for the QBs, and then you tell me what pops out. Do you want to take a guess who are the top 5 fantasy QBs through 5 weeks?
I imagine that Goff is up there after that monster game.
He's not. He's QB 6.
Oh, because he didn't do anything the first game, and then Danny Dimes got to be up there.
What number is he? This one you have to guess specifically.
1.
He's 2. Lamar's 1. 2.
Oh, Lamar, right. I have Lamar in 2 leagues. Yeah. Lamar hasn't even gone crazy. Just both games were big.
Yeah.
Josh Allen had 1 dud and 1 good game. He's probably 3 or 4.
He's 3. He's 3. Okay. So now, and
just
then
that monster game.
Right now, 4 and 5. So it's not Goff. Who's 4 and 5?
4 and 5. Maybe Drake May is 5.
That's a good guess, but May right now is 8. So I'll just tell you, it's Mahomes and Herbert are 4 and 5 respectively.
I got Mahomes in 1 league too. Yeah, Mahomes been running. That's why he's doing well. He's been running a lot.
Russ is 7 for the big game. Drake May 8. And despite all the negative pub, Caleb Williams has had 2 big fantasy games. He's 9. Baker's 10. Rodgers with the big week 1 is 11. And Bryce Young, everyone hates Bryce Young, is 12.
Garbage time, Bryce.
Yep. You know who's got more fantasy points then? Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love, and Jalen Hurts. That's who he's ahead of in the rankings right now.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden Daniels banged up too, and I dropped Love in one of my leagues. I just don't see the path. Jaden Reed's hurt. Christian Watson is hurt. It's like he's got like Matthew Golden they don't use. It's like they're throwing to Dobbs all the time. I mean,
they're throwing to Tucker Kraft.
Kraft is good, but yeah, Kraft and Dobbs, like this is just not a path.
And Wicks.
Great defense.
Yeah.
You're not throwing to your explosive rookie. You lost your explosive 30-year guy, and the other explosive guy's also hurt, and you've got a good running back. I don't know. And Love doesn't run much.
Yeah, let's see. The Jordan Love and in this scoring that I'm looking at here, 18 and 23 fantasy points respectively. I mean, that's fine. It's QB 14 numbers, right?
Right. In a 1 QB league, it's like, do you need to keep him? I think I had May and Nix in that league, so I dropped him.
I mean, the guys that are ahead of him that are available, Bryce Young, you're not going to take him. Rodgers, you're not going to take him. Russell Wilson, you're not going to take him. So, I mean, you're probably going to stick with Love because I can't imagine.
By the way, Russell Wilson is usual. I mean, there's upside with Russell Wilson.
Apparently so. He threw for 450 yards, I would say.
But I'm saying that may not, I mean, that's going to be his highest yardage total, obviously. But I mean, Russell Wilson may run and throw, and the Giants may let him do it. Just may let him cook. Like I think there's upside with Russell Wilson.
All right. So with our last few minutes here, did you make any bids on the waiver wire? I know in NFFC it's a little different than like home leagues, but like Troy Franklin.
I went big. I didn't get him. I went big on Woody Marks. I went like 200 and the second bid was like 50. Someone dropped Woody Marks. I watched that game. Chubb's the clear starter, right? But Marks is the number 2. Marks is RJ Harvey. Marks is Trevion Henderson right now. I mean, he's just the other guy.
He had the one catch for 37 yards.
37 yards look good. And you have the starter who is just like Dobbins, like he's like an injury waiting to happen. Chubb looked pretty good though. I have to say he didn't look bad. Someone made a joke that it's Chubb and Woody are the 2 running backs, right? Yeah. Which one you want to use at the goal line? I'm thinking through Texans, but
which one's going to get it in? You mean?
Yeah. Which one's going to penetrate? Right. But the point is that, that I think he looks good and he's the number 2. Like that was the guy that was in there. So, and a shaky starter who could get hurt any second. So I think like, I don't know. It seemed like I was surprised nobody really fought me for that bid.
Yeah, I mean, I guess sometimes they don't see the people that get dropped. And if you're sorting by last week's points, I don't think he would have come up too high, right? Like that's how a lot of people, the NFFC do it, or by percent owned is another way. Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the fab results here. In my league, Tyquan Thornton went. for 37. That's, it's right. I think Thornton for the next month until Worthy comes back and Rashee Rice is there. Thornton's a great plug him in, like Will Fuller type of play.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he did have two. He had one touchdown and one that should have been a touchdown. And I guess he's fast. Yeah. And but like Worthy might play this week, right?
If he does, he's severely compromised. Come on, man. Right. He's going to have, like I said, you throw Thornton in your flex or wide receiver 3 if you're in trouble. I'm not saying you start him over other people. And you remember Will Fuller used to get like 27 points or like 2. Yeah, it's something like that. And he just takes the good with the bad. Yeah.
If you're desperate, right? It's bye week, you have injuries, just throw him in there.
Yeah. There's way worse. Like he's got to be in the top 40 receivers if you're talking about upside.
I love this. The team I told you that it was the Chiefs stack where I drafted my first 4 picks were Chase, McConkey, and then I drafted Worthy and Rice 3-4, and Mahomes and I can't remember, and someone it was Tony Pollard at 5. That was fine, but in 7 I drafted Addison. So I've got 2 guys suspended. I think it's 2-0, and I'm just like, okay, one more week and Addison comes back, and then a few more weeks and Rashee Rice comes back. I'm just holding on. Just let me get through it like 4-2.
Yeah. What about it's that thing where everyone's like playing for later on, but you're at least holding on in your leagues, right?
Yeah. It's like the team survives. It's because you know why? It's because I have Javonte in round 8 or 9. That's the reason. Javonte and Mahomes are keeping me afloat while I'm waiting for those receivers to come back.
How about Hunter Renfrow? 2 touchdowns last week. He's getting all the Adam Thielen stuff though. He's getting open.
Yeah. I wouldn't count on that. It just seems fluky, but you never know. Those little like slot guys, sometimes like, oh, it's a fluke. And then by the end of the year, they have 85 catches and 900 yards and 6 touchdowns. And you're like, oh, that guy was useful. Yep. Maybe.
Dimes went for 145, 14% in my NFFC.
I did that on Dimes last week because I was like, this guy can be a top. Yeah, you have him 10. I think he'll be top 8. He runs. He's just in a good situation. It's like a quarterback that is really good is a game changer. Like you have to bid on that. You can't just, it's not like you're bidding on a kicker or a defense or something like that.
Yeah. I'm just looking at some of the other bids. Single quarterback, NFFC, Jake Browning. This is a high bid. I don't want to make you guess. He went for 355, 35.5%.
I saw some of those. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I guess because Chase and Higgins, maybe those are the stackers of the Chase Higgins Burrow. And they're like, well, I'm drawing dead unless I get this for the playoffs. So,
and now it's actually a renewed stack now, right? Because not all the Bengals stackers are going to have it.
Right. Right now it's a better stack, right?
Yeah,
because right, a lot of people lost the stack and then
39% to 20%,
Right. Maybe less. Right. And then also people who didn't have the stack now can get the stack. So let's say because remember there's 60%, 40% stack, 60% didn't. So somebody might be like, probably not spend that much money, but like a Chase like I had Mahomes, I have Chase. I could have easily just gotten Browning as my backup and have a Bengal stack with my Chase just on the side, just in case in the playoffs.
Yeah. So
didn't even occur to me, by the way, to do that. Didn't even.
No, it's a good idea now that we're talking it through, right? 355 he went for Browning, that is, and the next highest bid was 7.5%. So that I thought if I really wanted that, I would think like 120 would have done it, and obviously it would have. I'm seeing the results. So it's like
I saw a lot of big bids in my league that were kind of shocking. Yeah. So Browning, I was wondering, but that explains it. It's because this guy's wanting to stack.
You think they were that well thought through?
One guy went. So in this league, it's 185 is the highest. I'll go through my leagues.
I'll go through mine too.
465.
No, that's crazy.
He dropped Burrow. This is a stacker, and got Browning, and one of them 410 in my prime time.
I went. Those are bigger than the 35.
And what's weird is the guy with Burrow, it was not him. The guy with Burrow picked up Darnold.
I dropped Tank Bigsby in the league, and I see someone in the NFFC picked him up for 17.5%, 175. I think that's a little bit of a waste. I think Bigsby's got less of a chance now. Maybe there's some injury upside, but you're not going to get any goal line touchdowns, right? That's even Barkley.
So I went 200 or something, 220 on Woody Marks because I'm like, he's the number 2. Is Bigsby the number 2? Probably, right? Who's Will Shipley? It's just some guy that we're always like, that the Sharps like, oh, Will Shipley, he tested well. He's got these athletic comps of X, Y, and Z, but that doesn't mean shit, right? He's just some guy who's never really played. So you have Bigsby, who's been a pro for a couple of years, who has played. Maybe he's Barkley's obvious backup. And if the backup in a great run offense is probably worth that, right?
Yeah, but there's no chance of any goal line touchdowns.
Oh, because of Hurts.
Yeah, because of the ass smash.
Yeah, the ass smash is. But I mean, Barkley, you have no problem. I mean, Barkley. If someone took Barkley at 1-1 going forward, you'd be like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Like there's
because of the talent, the upside, he could break long ones. That's not Tank Bigsby.
No, right. And Barkley's a great pass catcher, right?
So a couple other things. What do you think? There was a lot of complaining this week about tush push because I think 11% of the plays that Philly ran were tush push. I have no problem with it. I actually like it. Jason Kelsey, that's the brother, right? He had a good counter, and I know he's biased because he was part of the tush push. People are like, oh, it's boring. It's a terrible play to watch. It doesn't look good on TV, all this kind of stuff. And he said, so what's the alternative? Punting? Is that a more aesthetically pleasing play? Right? 4th and 1?
Well, the thing is, I was talking about this in my write-up. There's 2 teams right now. One of them is not going to take advantage of it, but that have this asymmetric edge over the rest of the league, right? And one of them is the Cowboys because their kicker can make a field goal from anywhere. Like you could be on your own side of the field. I mean, you go into overtime against the Cowboys and it goes down to 1 score. It's like they don't need much. I mean, it's very dangerous to have that guy.
He's better than Tucker ever was.
Well, now, yeah, he's Tucker 2.0. Yeah, now. But he's Tucker plus 10 yards. He's what Tucker was plus 10 yards. So Tucker was 50 to 60, and now he's like 60 to 70, basically. And the thing is, he's not molesting people apparently. So we have no reason to think. But the point is though that that's a huge advantage, right? Like nobody else really has it. The tush push is like it's such an asymmetric advantage. If every 3rd and 3, you could be 3rd and 3, you get 1.5 yards. Now you're 4th and 1.5, get 1.5 yards. Like it is such an advantage never to worry about converting ever at the goal line, 3rd and short, 4th and short. It is like, to me, that's like worth like, I don't know how much that's worth, but it's worth like at least like an extra 2nd round pick every year or something. It's like, it's such an asymmetric edge. Why can't other teams do it? Why don't they just look at the tape and do it? I don't understand. There are players that played for the Eagles that are elsewhere. They could probably teach it. Like, what's the problem?
I mean, it doesn't seem that hard to execute. It just has to be like, do you have quad strength? Do you have leverage, right? I mean, maybe I'm simplifying it too much.
I mean, some people are complaining that they're cheating, that their offsides are lining up. Like there's all this stuff. They block their Fs. Right. I mean, they don't see it. They I don't know. But the point is,
you don't see it. If we could see it,
it's been 2 years now. Yeah. And they're the only team that does it at that success rate. Other teams have tried it and they'll fail. I don't understand why they're the only team that can do it. It is such a big edge. If you're not like every team, if I were like the GM or the owner, I'd be like, dude, figure out whatever it is they're doing and master that, because we are never getting stuffed on 3rd and 3 or shorter ever again. And that's a huge edge.
All right. I'm going to let everyone know if they want to go get a RotoWire subscription behind our paywall. We got rotowire.com and use the code YouTube15, 15% off. If you want to go over to Real Man Sports, you don't even care if they you want them to pay, but you don't even have like any hard and fast thing. Like just give what you want.
I did put one of the Survivor columns behind the paywall last week, and didn't matter because everybody won. But so I'll just put, just for the subscribers to be like, I'm getting something. Like I'll occasionally put stuff behind the wall. But I don't really, I mean, of course I want you to pay. Of course I do. But I mean, I'm not like, I want people to check it out, realmansports.com. So I give a lot away for free. So what am I doing? Am I doing Atlanta or not, Alan?
Yes.
What's the call?
Oh, for Circa. Okay. We're doing
Atlanta. No. That's easy.
My God. I would not have the stones to do it, but you probably should, right? But it's, you understand, no matter what I tell you, like this is like when people ask me to start sit. Sometimes I'm just like,
it's your fault.
I just say, I tell them. And
no, you can't help anybody. I just want to hear your reaction. I'm not going to real man. Say. I want to hear the vibe you're getting. I don't care exactly what you say. Well, I feel like the vibe you gave me was yes. It was like, I wouldn't do it. I'm scared. It would be something you regret. The Bills win easily. The Falcons lose on a last play or whatever.
No, I don't regret stuff like that because I understand, like when I have a start sit and I get the wrong guy, I was like, okay, but at least I knew going in that it was one or the other.
I get pissed when I mess up a start sit. Even if it's 50-50, I'm like, damn it, I knew it. I shouldn't have looked at Fantasy Pros. I shouldn't have looked at Jeff's value meter. But the thing is, like, with this, I'm not pissed now. I'm totally calm, but I will be if it loses. I'll be fucking pissed. Not at you, but I'll be pissed at myself because I'll be like, I blew it because I was trying to get, I know better than the market. Oh, look how clever I am. But I really do, like, I do feel like last week I had a Niners vibe. Like I thought that was I just thought they were going to win. I mean, it wasn't that easy, but they did. I have a Falcons vibe this week that doesn't, I don't know.
I had the same vibe as you because I told you I had them or Seattle. I didn't like Seattle because of the Darnold thing. Right. And I saw something that I don't even know how to back up with the metrics. It was just observationally.
Atlanta's good. They look like a good team.
The defense specifically.
They're going to go 2-1, not 1-2, same as Carolina. That was kind of my feel. I was like, they're going to go 2-1 because they're going to be a contender with the Bucs in the South, and they're going to relegate Carolina 0-3. They're not going to go both 1-2. Now could be wrong. Atlanta could go 1-2 and still end up being a contender later, but I feel like this is a game you got to win to be a contender. You got to beat like the Panthers on the road. I don't know. It just felt like this is the right place. They're 1-1. They're not 2-0. They won a tough game on the road. They played great defense. And they're gonna play, but they're missing AJ Terrell, and Bryce Young found a little bit last week, though he was that end of the Arizona game was like unwatchable. It was like, come on, Carolina, knock Arizona out. That'll kill a lot of people off. They just couldn't. They had every chance. The refs gave them every chance. They couldn't do it.
So do you think that the Falcons money line somewhere that lies between -225, -275 is a good bet then?
I hate taking favorites money line because it's like, what are you going to risk 100 to win $35 or something? It's like, what's the point?
All right, yeah, that makes sense. Well, you'd risk 250 to win 100. That's how you do it.
Whatever, yeah. Just whatever size you bet. Imagine moving it down 100 to win $38. It's like that's just not a good. It's not worth it.
When you win, it's good.
You win like a little tiny bit and you lose a lot.
Right. Well, that's, but you also don't have to do the points. But, and this is probably the negative EV bet if any one of your listeners does. But like, I'll take a quote lock like that's one I feel strongly about, and parlay it with another team. But now you're obviously decreasing your odds.
Of course, yeah, of course. You'll be right about Atlanta and you'll be wrong about the other one, and it will do you no good.
Right, like maybe Buffalo money line with. Sometimes I'll do
money line. Buffalo. I think Miami money line. Buffalo is probably going to win like 48-3. Okay, you're probably the first play. Tua is going to get sacked and concussed, and like you'll know the game's over in like 10 minutes, probably. But if there's a game where the 12.5 point favorite may have a problem, it's going to be a short week against a division rival that's desperate as hell, that has skill players and talent, and they also have a good defensive line. Miami, at least ostensibly, that might just show up. I don't know. Is Miami going to show up? Have they packed it in? Is Mike McDaniel done? Have they checked him? They almost beat New England. That was in New England, right? That was like a reasonably close game.
All right, here's your money line parlay. You go Bills. And by the way, this is the total donkey thing to do. I already know that. Yeah. But Bills -900 parlayed with the Falcons -250 comes out to -180. It's still not great.
No, you're trying to like juice up your thing a little bit, but it'd be hilarious if Atlanta wins and then Buffalo loses. I just think you parlay the Panthers and the Dolphins and be a real man.
Let's see what that is. So right now,
I don't like the Panthers. I don't want to say that because the Panthers are the team I'm fading, but.
So +200 on the Panthers and +600 on Miami comes out to. Do you want to take a guess what those odds are?
600 and 200.
Yeah,
it's probably like it's probably +1100,
+2,000.
Oh, +2,000. Yeah, okay.
Maybe you hedge your happiness a little bit right there.
No, that's not going to hedge. First of all, you start hedging now, you're real bad trouble because you lose. You lose the bet and then you lose later in the season.
You just put $100 on it, and you know.
No. I'm still thinking about it. My rule is always take the best team. Don't F around. You'll get more information and have other good choices later. When you're forced into a bad choice, then you'll make the best choice of it. Don't ever like jump the gun and start saving. So I may just take the Bills yet, but my other feeling is you can't win this by just chalking your way through it. There's a point where you're going to have to get into the vibe of the league and feel it and start dodging, minefields like Dalton and I did in 2021, where we were fading 10-point favorites and taking 4-point favorites and getting through, not just donkeying into like, well, it's the biggest favorite, I got to take it. And when we lost, we didn't even think about it. Arizona was 11-point favorites at home against the Lions that year. And I think it was the first year Goff was there where Goff was considered done. And at the end, he started showing a spark, and then they turned it around the year after that. But we didn't even think about it. We had by far the biggest favorite on the board. It was a Thursday night game. We're like, just whatever. And we lost. And it was like, oh, well, we did the right thing. We picked the obvious team. But no, if we wanted to win the whole thing, we would have had to like say, ooh, I don't like this. Everybody would take it, but I got to switch it. And, that's the game.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next week. Good luck in your leagues with another fantasy football podcast.